Wow, these tyres are doing really, really well. Look at that. For a ready to run, that is doing fantastic. Oh, go on, go on, go on, go on. That is so close. Yes, go on. See if this rear tyre can bite on this rock. Okay, wow. I'm speechless. That was mental. So I finally got my hands on the CR18P Pro Juice Up. This is the latest revision to the previous CR18P Evo Pro, which is this one here, and I actually voted this the best performing mini crawler in 2024 because this thing was just fantastic. So let's check out what they've updated on the Juice Up version, then we'll hit the rocks, we'll hit the trail, we'll see how it performs and see if this is the new king of the mini crawlers. So the first thing you notice is we've got a new body style. You can get it in the red or this kind of like fluorescent yellow or green, which kind of looks to be like someone's just vomited fluorescent colors all over it, but I'm not a massive fan of this color scheme, to be quite honest, but it certainly stands out, that's for sure. You've actually got new wheels as well. They do look a bit cheap in my opinion, but one of the nice things is we've actually got nice soft foams in the tyres, which makes a massive difference to performance. As you can probably tell, I have already ran it. The body's still held up with body clips. There's no interior clear windows, but I do like the fact that you do have the kind of like stickers and everything for the little bits of details for like the cage and stuff like that on there. No LED lights or anything like that, but again, you've got some stickers on the front and some stickers on the rear as well, just to give it a bit more character and detail. Underneath, we've now actually got these heavy duty drive shafts. These are the same drive shafts that are on the CR18P Arctos, the 6x6. So these are meant to be way more durable. And on the rear, it's actually a counter rotating drive shaft to try and negate the torque twist that this previous version had. It's also got a 27% underdrive in the rear axle, which is going to help us with like descending and stuff like that. And you'll see that when we run it on the rocks. You can just about see it there on the front. But we do actually have brass hex extenders on the front. Nothing on the rear, is just the standard plastic hex extenders on the rear. But obviously that's shifting that weight bias more towards the front. So again, it's going to make it even better for climbing. And then if we pop the body off with the body clips, we can see what's new underneath as well. So we've now actually got a Hobbywing WP Mini 24 brushless and waterproof ESC. We've actually then got a Hobbywing 1621 SL brushless outrunner motor as well. Before, the electrics were all Furatech electronics in here for the ESC and the motor. So now they have switched to the Hobbywing. I think the reason they've done that is so it's more reliable and slightly cheaper as well. The other thing you may notice if you're familiar with the CR18P is they've switched to a single speed gearbox. The reason being that now these electronics support a 3S battery at the box, and it does actually come with a 3S battery. So the idea being is they've removed the 2-speed to try and eliminate some of that slop in the drivetrain. And then you've basically got the 3S to give you that punch and, you know, try to make up for the wheel speed you've lost by going from a 2-speed to a single speed. Now, I've just popped the wheel off so you can see that brass hex extender. Now, what we can also see with the wheel off is they have also upgraded to larger pins in the portals. So you've got 1.5mm pins. However, there is still play in the axles. I don't know if you can see this very well, but you've actually still got a bit of play there in the output for the portals. I think part of the problem is because they have these really long extensions to run those, you know, hex extenders, there's too much play on the bearing. So you can see it rocking back and forth there on the bearing. Similar to like a real car, if you've run like really low offset wheels, you're going to put more strain on your wheel bearings. I think they could just do with just widening the axles, to be honest, and they wouldn't have to run these long extensions, and then you wouldn't have so much of that kind of movement in there, but you do still have, you know, a bit of slop in the drivetrain, and I think most of it's coming from the portals, to be honest, but I think it is improved over the previous version, but not by a massive amount. My CR18P Evo Pro, the previous one, is upgraded, but you can see how much slop there is in that one versus how much is in the Juice Up version. You know, I wouldn't say it's a massive difference. You know, it is an improvement, but I'm not sure it's quite as much as they were probably hoping for by ditching the 2-speed and stuff like that. But anyway, let me know what you think. You know, do you think it's an improvement or not? You could win a brand new Traxxas TRX4 for less than the price of your morning coffee. This is my modified TRX4 Defender. Absolutely love it. One of my favourite 10 scale crawlers. But you could pick a brand new Defender or a Bronco or even a High Trail. So check out the raffle link in the description to enter. Or maybe you prefer his little brother, the Traxxas TRX4M. This is my modified Defender, but you could win a brand new Defender or a Bronco. Again, check out the raffle link in the description to enter. So that should be most of the key differences. Let's just talk about the chassis and what it comes with if you're not familiar with the CR18P. So first off, You've got oil-filled shocks at the box. Now, they are very soft. They don't put a massive amount of oil in these. I do really like the flex you get with it, to be fair. But basically, you've got big bore oil-filled shocks. They've got aluminium caps, and they are adjustable if you want to adjust the preload. You've got an aluminium LCG chassis. And what's really nice is you've got multiple mounting points for your shocks, and you've also got various mounting points for your links as well, so you could adjust the suspension setup and so on. Like I said, you've got that single-speed gearbox, you've got that brushless Outrunner 1621 motor, got a servo on axle steering servo. I think this is like a 1 or 1.5 kilogram steering servo. I can't quite remember. I'll put it up on the screen if I can remember what it is. You've got portal axles front and rear. You've actually got a FlySky 4-channel receiver on there, so, you know, decent receiver on there. It is all meant to be waterproof and dustproof out of the box. Underneath it is all plastic, so plastic axles, plastic 4-link on the front and the rear, but it is metal gears throughout. So wheels and tyres, like I mentioned, you've got these new style 1.2-inch plastic beadlock wheels. The wheels are vented, and the foams, you can see how much softer they are. That was one of my gripes about the original CR18P Evo Pro. The stock tyres were quite firm and it just didn't perform very well. But these ones are really nice and soft. I mean, look how soft that is. That is really, really nice. Another nice thing about this as well is how all the electronics are laid out. So you've actually got your receiver and your ESC on one side, and then your battery sits on the other side. So you've got a nice bit of central weight distribution there on either side for the electronics, you know, to try and make the rig nice and planted in the middle. So what else comes included in the box? You get a FlySky 4-channel transmitter. These are really nice transmitters, same ones that come on all the other Hobbyplus models, the FMS FCX18s and stuff like that. I do wish they would just put the foam grip on the wheel. It comes on the other versions, and I wish they'd stick it on this one. It'd be so much nicer. You don't actually make use of channel 3 or channel 4 because there's no lights and obviously no 2-speed on this one. But you do have all the usual kind of steering trim adjustment, throttle trim adjustment, reverses, and you got your dip switches on there and everything as well. You also get your instruction manual out of the box. You also get included your little wheel wrench tool, and you also get the instructions for the Hobbywing ESC as well. Now, one thing to note with this Hobbywing ESC that comes included, you can tune it with a tuning card. The tuning card doesn't come with it though, so you would need to buy that separately. You also get a 2-amp USB charger, and this one can charge your 3S battery, because included you do get a 360 milliamp hour 3S LiPo battery. I really like the fact that this one actually comes with a 3S battery. I recently reviewed the T-Hunter, which is the V3, and that only came with a 2S battery. So yeah, I was really chuffed to see this one comes with a 3S battery. Right, let's get the battery in this thing, give it a quick bench test. We can see what that slow speed control's like with the Hobbywing electronics, and then I'll get to the running footage on the rocks and on the trail. So just to show you, your battery does sit really nice and snugly in the tray. It just fits in the little rails they've got for the tray, but it does fit in there really nicely. So for the bench test, what we'll do is just run it over some tyres, and I'll just turn the throttle trim up on the transmitter so we can just see what it's like. So if we just turn this up until it starts moving, I'll just put the transmitter over there. I don't know if you can hear it. It is a little bit noisy with the brushless system when it's like really slow speed crawling. You might be able to hear that in the background, I'm not sure. But, I mean, I found when I reviewed the T-Hunter previously, you know, the new Hobbywing system, they are fantastic, you know, really nice slow speed control. I'm still not 100% sure if it's better than the FuriTech system in regards to performance and slow speed. Can you hear that? That's quite a little bit noisy for a brushless Outrunner. Every now and again, it just seems to make a bit of noise. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, there you go again. Can you hear it? That's pretty noisy. And that's the one thing I find with these, is that because there is that bit of slop in the drivetrain, I guess that kind of doesn't make it as smooth as it could be. Like if you fitted a brushless system to like a TRX4M or something like that, something that's got a bit less slop is generally a bit smoother. So you can get this hesitation here, look. With the FOC, which is what this has, it should be nice and smooth and just transition nicely. Just hold that tyre so it doesn't just slip and drive away. But yeah, with the FOC, it should be super smooth, super linear. But I do find on this and on the T-Hunter that you do get a little bit of hesitation. And I can't remember if I had the same on the Evo Pro with the FuriTech system. But I mean, that is really nice slow speed control. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic, especially for a ready to run rig. Let's see what it's like when it comes down with this tyre now. So that is really nice. That's really nice descent. Oh, and sometimes you can really see that underdrive working as well on the rear. But I mean, yeah, for a ready to run, that is fantastic slow speed control, isn't it? I mean, that is brilliant. And then in terms of our wheel speed, obviously we've only got that single speed, but with the 3S in here, it's got plenty of punch. Check this out. Right, so let's get to the running first so you can see what this thing performed like on the rocks and the trail. We did also do the tree climb challenge on the trail as well, which is really good fun. And then I'll come back and let you know my final thoughts. Okay, let's see how the CR18P does on the rock crawler course. I'm going to try and go as slow as I can. Well, I'm going to try and slow crawl up the hill climb first of all. See what the tyre grip is like. See if we can get up there. Struggling a bit. Oh, it's pushing over there. That was getting close to tipping over then. Let's go slightly to the right and see if we can get around there. Nice. Now with this one having such a wide wheel track, I do find, same on my my CR18P Evo Pro, they can get hung up a bit on stuff because of obviously the distance between the wheels is quite wide. Doing really well so far. Ooh, a little bit of body rubbing then, I think, but let's go straight for the gatekeeper, see how it does with the gatekeeper. Nice, straight up there, not even lifting a wheel or anything, very nice. You could see that underdrive working on the gatekeeper then as well as it was climbing, but let's just try the up and over, see what the tyre grip's like here. Oh, that's actually really, really good. Nice. That was really good. The changes they've made to these stock tyres with the softer foams is definitely making a difference. You know, that was one of the things I found with the CR18P Evo Pro out of the box. The tyre performance wasn't that great, but these are doing really well. Let's head up here, kind of next hardest section, heading towards the stairway. See how it does up here. Sometimes you can get hung up a little bit as you go through here, but so far so good. That's doing a really good job. Let's just move around here a bit. Nice, nice bit of bite on the tyres then. Wow, these tyres are doing really, really well. Look at that. For a ready to run, that is doing fantastic. I mean, you know, it takes a second sometimes to bite, but they are doing a phenomenal job for ready to run tyres. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, I'm on the throttle. I'm giving it a bit of throttle. And yeah, it, you know, definitely takes a little bit of throttle to actually get it moving. Right, let's try the merry-go-round, although it might struggle, the merry-go-round, with the really wide wheel track, but once we get up and around there, it should do a really nice job, hopefully. Not sure if we had some rubbing on the body then. You could hear that kind of like rubbing noise. Yeah, I think we are getting some tyre rubbing possibly on the body, which is interesting. Come on, you, get around there. Hopefully we can bite that wall. Yes. Obviously with the portal axles, you've got a nice bit of ground clearance as well. Come on. Come on. Yes, nice. And it's got loads of punch. Well, that was some nice punch with the 3S. Okay, let's try it up through here as well. You know, this is definitely seems to be an improvement over the original Evo Pro. And for the price, you know, fantastic. Ooh, that's pushing the limits there. Look, that was going to go then. Let's try and take a slightly different line. Come on, need that front end to drop down a little bit. Yes, nice. Very nice. This is doing a fantastic job. It's just eating up the course, isn't it? Okay, let's try one of our kind of hardest lines where we basically take on the gatekeeper, but running a wheel either side. You'll see what it's like. Oh yeah, look, see, you can see there, look, we are getting some rubbing on the body. When we're on full lock, those tyres are rubbing on the body a bit. Okay, yeah, so basically one wheel either side. See if this rear tyre can bite on this rut. Okay, wow. I'm speechless. That was mental. Those tyres just grabbed and went. That was absolutely fantastic. To do that line there that easy, wow, that is absolutely amazing. Let's just see what it's like on the descent as well. I'll try and feather the throttle as much as I can. Don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, it definitely kind of takes a second to kind of wind up before it decides it want to go. Right, that is me feathering the throttle as lightly as I can. Can't get my words out today. That is doing a really good job. Right, once that rear wheel crosses over, see what it's like. Does it kind of run away with itself? No. Oh, a little bit of a lurch then, actually. That is doing a really good job, though. Look at that lovely slow speed control. And that's just me controlling it on the finger as well. Just as lightly as I can, which is really good. See what it's like when it gets down to the bottom here and it transitions. Obviously this one's got all the FOC technology and everything, so you should have nice linear control, nice and smooth. Let's see what it's like. So as those front wheels kind of cross over and the rear wheels coming up behind, obviously we've got that 27% underdrive on the rear. Ooh, it's thinking about it. A little bit of hesitation there. I was definitely thinking about it. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, sometimes when you're doing kind of slow speed, you can really hear that kind of outrunner motor. Ooh. Yeah, it definitely pauses every now and again. I'm not sure if it's where you kind of got that little bit of slop still in the drivetrain, or if it is the brushless system. I'm still on the fence, to be honest, as to whether the Hobbywing Mini 24 is actually better than the Furotech system in regards to the slow speed control. They're good, don't get me wrong, and for a ready to run, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'm still on the fence as to whether they are actually better. Loving the flex on that as well. Well, that's doing a really good job. That is some really nice slow crawling. Let's just see if we can get these rocks over here. So let's go back a minute. And let's just see if we can get up here. We might get some... Oh, it's a bit slow to start sometimes. You're kind of on the throttle and you're like, come on, start moving. All right, let's see if we can get up here. Oh, come on. Yes. Oh, we were up then and then it slipped back off. Oh, pushing over to the side a little bit there. See if we can shimmy back ever so slightly. Oh, come on. Take it back down. Come on, get up there. It's so much punch on this thing. And now I've completely stuffed up the line. Well, we made it across, just not quite where we wanted to go. Well, that did absolutely amazing. I mean, I had, I think the CR18P Evo Pro was my #1 on my mini crawlers list, but this thing definitely is better out of the box than the Evo Pro was. I'm not fussed on the colour scheme and stuff like that, but, if you can look past that, the performance of this thing is just absolutely phenomenal. And, for stock tyres, they are doing a really, really good job. Value for money on this thing is absolutely insane. Okay, first up out on the trail, let's try some rooting tooting. Nice, plenty of ground clearance there as well on the first route. Let's try the second one. Oh, very nice. Straight up there. Nicely done. It blends in with the scenery with that colour, doesn't it? Let's just see what it's like for wheel speed as well with that 3S battery in it, but just a single speed gearbox. It's definitely quite a bit slower than having the 2-speed, even with a 3S battery in it, but, still a decent little bit of speed to it. Okay, let's just see what these tyres are like for a bit of off-roading on the trail. Nice and easy one, this one, but, it's a good kind of test that if you get stuck on this, then you're not off to a good start. They really impressed me on the rocks earlier, so it'll be interesting to see what they're like on the trail. Oh, you can see it's kind of pushing over a bit on that rock there, look, not able to get the bite. Let's just realign, see if we can get up there. Oh, they're struggling a bit, aren't they? Wheel speed and you get over there no problem, but yeah. Okay, so not as good on the trail. Now they've got a little bit of dirt on them as well. They're not as fresh and clean as they were when we ran them on the rocks earlier. Let's just try them over some of these small routes again, just kind of see what it's like for ground clearance, what it's like when it comes up against obstacles. Nice, doing a good job so far. See what it's like going over these two. It can sometimes be a bit trickier. That's actually doing a really good job. That's actually really good. These tyres are definitely better on this one than they are on the T-Hunter. I'm pretty sure they are different tyres, but yeah, these ones seem to be, or at least with this rig anyway, seems to be performing much better out of the box than the T-Hunter did. Let's do our usual little bank crawl, just kind of loose dirt and sand just to see what they're like for grip. Wow, they are doing a fantastic job. It doesn't seem like much, but a lot of rigs there would get stuck and just be spinning the wheels. This thing is doing a really good job at the box, to be fair. And those, you know, better tyres are definitely making a difference. Okay, last little obstacle. Let's just do the tree climb, which we've been doing recently, mainly with like upgraded rigs. Basically, if you get this wrong, stream's just down there. So yeah, don't get it wrong. I almost lost my upgraded TRX4M the other day because it was like right on the edge over there. But anyway, with a little bit of brass we got on the front, let's just see if this thing can actually get up the tree. You know, I'm quite impressed with the grip on these tyres, so it'd be interesting to see. Oh. Getting over this first kind of ridge is the hardest bit. Oh, look, we're lifting a wheel already, look. Okay, let's just do that again. I'm going to try and go over to the right slightly. If I could actually drive, hang on. I'm going to try and, yeah, get a wheel over on the right-hand side. Oh, come on. I'm going to try and go slow so we don't go falling down to the stream. Oh, if we can just get over that ridge line. Come on. Oh, it's close to tipping over, isn't it? Let's just try and go over to the right a tiny bit more. So if we can just get... Oh, go on, go on, go on, go on. That is so close. Yes! Go on. Nice. Wow, okay, I didn't think it would get over that, to be fair. Let's see how high, or... You can see we're twisting there. I'm going to have to go back a little bit. Smoothly as I can. Oh, because we've pushed over this side a little bit. Oh, it's going to bin it now, isn't it? The tyre's kind of pushed over this way a little bit. I need to get back over there. Oh, go on, go on, go on, go on. Just get some bite. Oh, we got so far. Hang on, I'm just going to replace it because otherwise it's going to fall off. But I do think it'll actually get up higher. Now, I don't normally cheat, but that's kind of the line I want it to be. We'll see if the tyres kind of push off to the left again, but I just want to see how high it gets. Oh, it's just lifting a wheel. It's going to bin it, isn't it, again? It just keeps pushing over to the side, look. Well, before it falls off, that's how far it made it up the tree. The Evo Pro and the TRX4M upgraded one have made it all the way to the top, basically, or pretty much all the way to the top, but yeah, we've made it a fair bit, like maybe halfway, but that is going to go in a second, and at least when it falls there, it's not going to fall in the stream. Let's see if it'll go any further. Okay. Most ready to runs, to be honest, can't even make it past that point. Most of them just get stuck by here, or they just end up hitting that kind of first hump and then they just tip over and end up flying towards the stream. So that has actually done a really good job for a ready to run. Bit more weight on the front, I reckon, and that'll do a much better job. Just some weighted wheels or something like that. Well, what did you think? I mean, I'll be honest, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's definitely better than the Evo Pro was stock out of the box, especially these tyres. I was well impressed with the performance of these tyres, especially when it did that hardest bit on the core. So it just kind of transitioned over and I was just like, this is insane. So yeah, absolutely fantastic performance out of the box. You know, I think the new Hobbywing electronics are doing a brilliant job as well. There is still a little bit of kind of slop in the drivetrain, and you do notice it when you kind of transition over. I do think it is the drivetrain, not the electronics. I've got to be honest, it doesn't really bother me. It didn't really bother me on my Evo Pro either, to be honest. You know, you just kind of work around it, but I can understand how a lot of people would find it a little bit annoying. I think if they could improve that, it would be pretty much faultless, wouldn't it? I do like a 2-speed gearbox, but to be fair, with the 3S battery in it, do you still need it? I'm not quite sure. You know, I did like the speed and the punch that you have with this 3S. And I suppose, you know, unless you're going to be ripping it around everywhere with a 2-speed, then yeah, I think the single speed with the 3S is actually more than capable. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I'm not massively fussed on these new bodies and the color of the wheels. You know, I definitely changed the wheels and I much prefer the older style Evo Pro body, so I would probably stick that on here instead because I think it looks much nicer. I do absolutely love the flex on it. I think the suspension movement is absolutely fantastic. It was one of the things I loved about the Evo Pro. I never changed the weight of the oil or how much was in there because I just love that articulation. It just looks awesome. And you could tell with those brass weights on the front now, you know, it does have a bit better climbing mobility, although, you know, it could probably still do with a bit more weight. But like I said, just change the wheels, stick some better wheels on there. And yeah, I think you'd just be eating all the lines up like nobody's business. I think my only complaint, to be honest, and I'm not sure if it's because of now the difference with the gearing between the single speed and the 2-speed, I do find sometimes when you're kind of transitioning between the speeds just on the throttle, on the transmitter, that it's not as smooth as I'd like it to be. I don't recall having that issue with the Evo Pro. I mean, for $189, this thing is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? I mean, it definitely takes the crown. I would definitely say it's like the best performing brushless mini crawler you can get. You know, it is, what, $10, $11 cheaper than the HPI Venture 18. And I think with these stock tires, I think it outperforms the HPI Venture 18 in my opinion. So I think it definitely takes the crown as being the best. I do actually prefer the style on the T-Hunter. It's more my kind of style being a truck. And this one's only actually $159. So it's actually $30 cheaper than the Juice Up. So I do think I'm going to have to do a comparison between these two and see how they compare. I think this one will still probably crawl better because it's got better tyres and a lower centre of gravity. But this one could just take the edge on cool points. Anyway, let me know what you think of it in the comments. You know, do you agree? Do you think it is the best performing brushless mini crawler you can buy right now? Also, if you've got one, you've done any mods to it, what have you done? And you know, what improvements has it made? Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching and we will see you on the next one.